Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video, and today welcome to my October reset. So in today's video I'm going to be going through my budgets for October, and I'm going to be sort of looking at my highs and lows for September and kind of discussing my goals for October, and also going through kind of what my October is going to look like in terms of like some things that I'm having to get done and some appointments I've got. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started.
Trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it.
So just so I don't forget anything, I have made some notes because I need to make sure I don't forget anything. So first of all, the highs and lows. So the highs for October is that I opened an ISA savings account. So if you don't understand what an ISA savings budget is, you get a financial year cap that you can put into this ISA saver, and basically it's like a saver that you put away that you don't have very easy access to. And with that you get a higher interest because you're putting it away and you're saving for your future. So I haven't got a lot in it, but the interest rate is really, really good at the moment, and I think it still is really, really good. So if you're contemplating putting some money away for your future, then definitely look into the different interest rates available sort of for you and like the banks that you bank with. So another high that I have for September is that I had a really good paycheck from my summer job, and it actually has left me and the ability to be able to open up the ISA savings account. So it really did benefit me really, really well, and I was able to start saving for my future, which is really important to me, and to be able to, I don't know, look forward to what the future holds. So I've also started my weight loss journey, and I don't want to really say anything too much about that because I don't want to be sort of jinxing it or making the expectations too high. So yeah, I've just started my weight loss journey. In September I was also able to spend a lot of time with the ones I love, and comparing to August, which I was working throughout quite a lot of August, so I wasn't able to sort of see my friends, my family, or like any of the people that I sort of look up to, or admire or love, or anything like that. So September was a really good chance to be able to catch up with those people. Now heading on to the lows of September, there was quite a few lows. So yeah, it was kind of I suppose equal when you think about the good sides and the bad sides. So my first low was that my mood's been a little up and down, and I think it's because I've just been a little bit I've been forgetting my medication a few times, and I just haven't been taking care of myself in a self-care way. So I definitely need to, that's one of my goals heading into October, is to be more conscious about making sure my self-care is a priority. Also going on to the mental health aspect, I've been very easily overwhelmed in September, and I've been showing a lot of signs of just being socially exhausted, and I think that's sort of leading from being physically exhausted in August and then going and sort of spending loads of time with all my friends and family, and then just being very socially exhausted and not really knowing how to cope with that. My third low of September is I lost track of my skincare and my self-care. So I usually try to do about sort of 1 to 2 face masks in a month, and I usually try to dedicate, and that kind of ties into about 1 to 2 days of dedicated self-care and things for me. And I wasn't able to do that in August. September I was sort of doing a lot more socializing, so I wasn't able to do that as much. So October I'm definitely going to be making a more conscious effort to do some self-care and to make myself feel like me again. My fourth low of September is that I had to restart my penny saving challenge. Was a little bit of I need the money, and it was prior to getting paid at the end of August, and I was very I need the money, and I need some bills that need to be paid, and I can't wait for the paycheck. So I had to open up my penny saving jar tin, and it wasn't a highlight of my month, but I have restarted it, and you will get to see sort of how far I've got into it so far following the paycheck at the end of August, and just sort of taking cash out and then putting the pounds and the pennies and sort of putting little bits in this jar to kind of just get rid of some debt. And my last low of September is I've been feeling quite lost and quite not knowing where my life is going, and it just leads on to I suppose another high, which I haven't written down, but it's something that is a really big high. I've hit 500 subs, so if you're watching this and you've subscribed to me recently, or if you've been a long time subscriber, thank you so much for supporting my channel. I am so happy to be able to say that I am halfway to my first goal, which is 1,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed and you're watching this video and you've been watching maybe a few of my videos, or you've just come across my channel for the October reset and and you like this sort of content, then please, you know, I do a lot of videos about mental health, and I do a lot of videos about self-improvement and sort of lifestyle types and bits and pieces. So if you like that sort of content, then please feel free to hit the subscribe button. It does mean a lot to me. So now I want to talk a little bit about the penny saving challenge and kind of show you what has kind of happened. I have pre-filmed this, so I will overlay it on top of this video and you'll just hear what I'm saying about the penny saving challenge. So I have made a good start on the penny saving challenge, and this time I've been doing it, I've made a slightly different way I've been doing it. Rather than me picking the amounts that I'm putting in the jar, I'm letting a random wheel generator decide what amounts I put in the penny saving challenge. I have an amount that's in, like, that's coins that are left over from the week or for the last 2 weeks or something, and I then take that money and I kind of say, okay, I've got £17 for example, and then I will kind of get the generator and I will be minusing off all of the amounts that the random wheel generator says that, you know, I can take off. It's a bit more fun. It makes saving a bit more fun and a bit more like interesting. My penny saving challenge, you will also notice, is a bit different to a lot of other people's. So when I was designing the sheet, I didn't want to leave a gap of amounts, so I kind of thought, and you'll see on the sheet where it's like usually a penny saving challenge goes up to £3.65, so that's the idea, it's a penny for every day, and then you go penny, 2 pennies, 3 pennies sort of thing, and that's the how it originally kind of originated. And how you can actually do the penny saving challenge is you can work from the smallest up to the highest, or you can work from the highest down to the lowest, and I just kind of do it randomly, as you can see from the, you know, the footage that you can see in front of you right now. But I decided that because I didn't want to leave a gap at the bottom where like there was space to put more amounts, I just continued it, and I ended up having a few more larger amounts, which then obviously increases the amount of like the things you can save. So if you would like to purchase any of my templates, I am going to be starting an Etsy shop, and I'm going to be putting like a penny saving challenge or financial challenge sheets. So yeah, that's going to be something that is going to be available on Etsy very, very soon. They are made to order. I print them all off and I will have so many in stock, but that is something that's going to be started very, very soon, and I will leave a link below this video if they're available by the time this video comes out, but they might or they might not be, so just stay tuned for that. I will leave a link to my Etsy store anyway, so if you did want to have a little look just in general to see what I do sell when this video does come out, or when you're watching this video, yeah, then please feel free to go and have a little look. And yeah, so this now goes on to the fact that I want to be doing a no spend October, and this is going to be a no spend with a few exceptions. So these few exceptions, there is a couple of things that I need to buy and I need to plan to buy anyway, but I'm going to be budgeting a lot less to try and kind of save my finances and try and save my future, put more money in this ISA and just kind of get myself back on track financially. I'm going to be listing the exceptions now so that you can kind of get an idea if you ever did want to do a no spend month for yourself. So now I'm going to move on to the September budgets versus actual spending. So for this, I'm going to talk about each of the main sections that I was budgeting for in September. I know that I didn't do like a September reset, so this wouldn't have been like highlighted on my channel before, but I'm just going to go through it so we can kind of reflect. So for the grocery budget, I budgeted £500, and that was because I'd never really budgeted properly before. Yes, I'd kind of tried to do these resets before, and I just never really like stuck to them or gone and done it seriously. So I budgeted 500 and I actually only ended up spending 162.95, which is kind of showing me that I can budget less for my groceries, and I can budget and know that I don't actually spend £500. I think it just seems that way sometimes, but yeah, I didn't spend anywhere near the budget. The next section is my toiletries. So for this, I budgeted £25, and for whatever reason, I don't even know where this went, but I spent £44.51. I think it was mainly because I did a Superdrug order and I probably spent things in Superdrug, and it kind of all adds up. You know, when you buy like a makeup palette and then you buy like a mascara and all the little things, they just really add up, and it's annoying, but it probably means that I need to be more careful with my toiletries and yeah, just be a bit more conscious. So the next section is my health and medical budget. For this, the sort of things would be, I don't know, like if I needed to go and buy some plasters, or if I needed to go and buy any like supports for my joints or anything like that. So I'd budgeted £30 and I ended up only spending £19.38. So yeah, it was under budget, which means I can probably budget like 25 or 20 next month. Now this is where I usually spend way too much on. I usually spend way too much on Amazon. And I think it's just the convenience of it all. It's also because I have a subscribe and save for all of those heavy bulk items. So for Amazon in the month of September, I budgeted £70 and I actually only spent £50 and 7 pence. So I've been a bit more careful about what I've been spending on Amazon. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to be a bit more aware of it. And I think it's because behind closed doors, obviously, I didn't do a September reset, but in the month of September, I was being a bit more cautious as to what I ordered on Amazon. So my next section is my travel. So for the travel budget, I budgeted £40, and this is for things like buses, for trains, for taxis, things like that. And I'll get on to obviously the reason what I'm doing in October now, kind of in the future in this video. But like, so for September, I budgeted £40 and I spent £31 and 45 pence. I believe that that was one taxi or maybe two. And obviously, £31 when you think of it over the month isn't too bad. But I think that was mainly spent all at one point in the month. So yeah, it did seem like a lot at the time. So the next budget is my credit card budget. So at the moment, my credit card is 0% interest, which means that I'm only paying off the balance. I have got that for a year. It's a promotional thing that my bank was doing. So I'm using that to reduce my overdraft. So I budgeted £450 and that was to kind of pay off some of the credit card. But actually, because I was paid fairly well at the end of August, I was able to pay off more. So even though this budget is over budget, it actually is over for a good reason. And I actually ended up spending £702 in paying off this credit card. So I think I got it down pretty much to zero by the sort of end of September. So yeah, that was a really good way for the budget to be spent. And even though it was over, as I said, I'm happy it was over because I'm managing my finances better. So now we're going to go into the October budgets. So for October, I've really been kind of, looking at the September and how much I spent versus how much I actually needed, like how much budget versus how much I actually needed. And some of the things I have to move up, obviously, and some of the things I've got other things planned that I know I need to make more of a budget. But for my groceries, I'm sticking at £100. I've budgeted £100. I'm hoping I'm going to stick at £100. And even if I don't, it's just one of those things. But at the end of the day, I'm trying my hardest, and as long as I try my hardest, that's all anyone can ask of me. £100 is the goal. Obviously, in September, I spent just over £100, but I'm just hoping that I can stick under 100 or maybe slightly over, but like the £100 around that is the goal. So for toiletries, I have budgeted £20. Obviously, last month it was more 40 something pounds, but I'm going to be more careful about what I buy and try to use up the toiletries that I have actually got around my flat and just try and declutter a little bit at the same time, because if I'm using, say, a bath wash or a body wash I already have it versus getting a new one, then it just makes things a bit less cluttered because I've got less things. But yeah, £20 is the goal and wish me all the luck. So for October, I'm going to be starting getting some gifts for Christmas, starting to buy little bits and pieces because obviously Christmas is coming thick and fast. So I've budgeted £35 for gifts, and that's just a start. I can imagine that will go up in November, but it's just to make a little bit of a start with any wrapping paper or any small items that I might see around the shops now that things are out for Christmas. And the shops are starting to decorate for Christmas and we haven't even had Halloween yet. So it's one of those things. But yeah, I'm going to start kind of going around and seeing if I can find anything. The next budget I want to kind of keep an eye on is my health and medical. I did spend, I think, 20 something pounds or whatever it was on health and medical last month. So I budgeted 15 because I don't actually see that I should need a lot of health and medical this month. So I don't foresee needing to use even that £15 budget. So I've given myself £15 with the hope that I won't actually need it. The next budget I'm going to be looking into is travel. So this particular travel is UK based only. So it's things like taxis, it's things like buses, it's things like trains, it's the sort of everyday spend on travel. For this, I budgeted £40, and even though it's £40, I am going to be trying to do no taxis and just really trying to kind of keep that as low as possible, even though 40 is the cap. So my next budget is for credit card payments. So you saw that I paid off £702 in my last credit card payments like budget, and it was over, but it was good that it was over. Well, this month I can foresee really not being able to pay off a lot, so I want to pay off a maximum of £500. And with my credit card, I just wanted to say that it's not something that is a balance that I'm trying to pay off. It's my regular card that I spend on. So versus spending on my debit card, which has the overdraft, I'm spending on my credit card to then reduce the overdraft because there's 0% for 12 months. So I am keeping an eye on when that 12 months is over, but yeah, that's why I'm spending, and that's why the balance goes up and down, and why I'm having to pay off so much of the credit card. It's not that I'm paying down a balance, it's that I'm spending and paying it off. So I just thought I'd explain that a little bit so no one got confused. And that is just to keep my budgets and to keep everything, really well fine-tuned. And the last budget that I really want to be keeping an eye on is the holidays, but it's the international holidays. So I am hopefully planning to book a flight and to go away before the end of the year. And that is because, as I previously mentioned in some other videos, I do have some flight credit that needs to be used before the end of the year. So I kind of want to just pay that little bit extra to be able to afford that. And the £400 for the holidays international would include the rest of that flight, plus any like sort of insurance or any travel to the airport and things like that. So that is kind of what that all includes. But fingers crossed that does happen. But that is all the October budgets that I'm going to be kind of just really keeping an eye on. I have got other budgets that I've got kind of kept, which are smaller and sort of less significant. But these are all the significant budgets that I have gone for, and fingers crossed it works, and fingers crossed I can stick to it. But yeah, let's get into the rest of the video. I do have a little thing I want to show you. So this is my penny saving, like cash stuffing folder. And in this folder, I have designed some little kind of placeholders for in my little budget thing. So I'm going to pull one out and I'm going to show you what it looks like, because I came up with this thinking, it's a really good different way to do it. So on this, it just says no spend month. And then this is my grocery allowance folder. So this is like the placeholder for the grocery allowance budget. And some people, like for me, the grocery allowance is on my credit card because I don't have the extra money, so it's on my credit card, and then obviously I pay that off when I get paid at the end of the month. But this is what the back looks like. So it has two sides. It has a placeholder, and on the other side it says the amounts at the very, very top as a like top sheet, and then as you go down it says starting balance, and I've put £100 because that's what I'm budgeting for my groceries. And I do have a lot of groceries that are like sort of cans of soup and like baked beans, things like that, so I can survive without having to buy too many groceries. So for me, £100 should be okay, but I'm not gonna like penalize myself if I go slightly over, because it's just budget. I'm hoping that £100 will be enough, and at the moment we're looking like it is going to be enough. But obviously, I've never done a no spend month, so I don't know how to budget for that sort of month. But yeah, it's coming. I'm starting and hoping that I'm going to, fingers crossed, be able to do it. So I've done starting balance, which is the next thing that's below the amounts. It says £100, and then it says CC. For me, that is my code for credit card. Below that, it says withdrawn, and then there's like a little grid at the very, very bottom. This grid has it's 2 boxes, and then there is 5 down, so there's like 10 squares. For me, I'm using it as a spent and then balance, so spent on the left hand side and balance on the right hand side. So I obviously trial and error. I'm trying these out for myself first before I then put them on the Etsy shop. But I spent £23.48 on groceries, and then my balance, because I took the £100 minus the £23.48, and then I had a balance. So it allows me to keep track of how much money of the £100 I have left. So for my no spend month, I have one of them for the grocery allowance. I have one of them for a personal spends allowance, which could be makeup, skincare. It could be anything that is sort of for my own personal thing. That is got got cash, that has got cash in that one. So the only one that's gone credit card this month is my food. And then I have a household allowance, which I have budgeted £20 for. And that is for things like cleaning supplies or anything that is for the actual house and not my personal sort of myself. Then I do have my normal folders, like the just in case, and my week ones. So when I do like the cash stuffing, I do them on a weekly basis. I'll take the money out at the beginning of the month when I get paid. So it's on the end of the month's paid to the beginning of the month. And then I will kind of spread it out throughout the 4 or 5 weeks that is in the month. So I do have placeholders that have the month and then the date. And then on the actual folder, it says week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I then have a little place for stamps because I know that is where they are, and they've got a little home in my penny saving cash stuffing folder. At the back, I do have my penny saving challenge, which you would have seen to see what ones I've marked off. So that is everything that is in my folder. But if you're interested and you would like me to make these folders for my Etsy shop, then please leave a like on this video and leave a comment underneath to say please make the cash stuffing folders. So now getting on to my goals. So the goals and the exceptions for my no spend. So the exceptions for my no spend I have written down because I knew I was going to forget them all. So the travel is an exception to the budget. So it's an exception to the grocery and all those no spend type budgets. The exception is it is travel but no taxis. So I can't have a taxi throughout the whole of October. Doesn't matter if I'm like I've got to wait longer for a bus or whether I can't be bothered to walk. I've got to tell myself I need to walk, I need to get the bus. Taxis are a no-go for the whole of October. The next one is you've already know about is the food budget, the personal budget. There are £100 for each. I think actually no, I did decide it was £50 for personal budget and £100 for food. And then I do need to buy some new suitcases because I had to return my suitcases that I got from Amazon. I did get a refund for them, but at the end of the day, I do need to then replace those suitcases because I did mention in a previous video, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to go to America at some point before the end of the year. So I'm hoping there's be travel vlogs, but in order to go out to the States, I need to have a suitcase or two suitcases, and so I need to replace the ones that I had to return. So that is all my exceptions for the no spend. So unless it's in that exception, it doesn't get spent on. Like if it's something that I want but don't need, can't buy it this month because I'm trying to reset my finances. So now my goals. My first goal is to stay on budget. This is very important because I feel like I am spending a lot on things I don't need, things like takeouts and things like that I just don't require, and it's something that it's more want, and I need to be looking after my financial health. So my second goal is to complete the no spend October, and I'm hoping that I can prove everybody that tells me I can't do it wrong, and I'm so happy, and I really want to be able to say to you in the November reset that I completed October's no spend. So wish me all the luck. Leave some like clovers in the comment section down below if you are wishing me loads of luck for this no spend. The third goal that I have for October is to post twice on YouTube per week. I've been keeping up with that so far, and this one I'm filming on Tuesday. It is then going out on the Friday. So yeah, it is on time and I am filming. I'm, filming and keeping things up to date. If you are new here, Mondays is a mental health video and Fridays is more of a lifestyle, fun, vloggy type content. It is kind of they're the 2 days in which I do different videos. Goal number 4 is to declutter my flat, and I am so happy to say that I do have some really amazing friends that are helping me with this, and this is because I'm hoping in the near future to move. There's no date set and there's no real location, to be fair, set. It's just I'm fed up of where I am at the moment, and it's something that hopefully in the near future, whether that's 6 months, whether that's in the next year's time, hopefully I would have moved. And the 5th and final goal for October is to create a cleaning schedule and to stick to it. So I did find a template, which I will leave a link to the template down below. I can't remember whether it was free or whether I paid for it, but either way I will leave a link to it down below, and yeah, you can go ahead and either purchase or download that, and yeah, feel free to use it. It's an amazing template that I figured out. I think actually it might be a Canva template, so I will see if I can find that and put it on my drive and see if I can get it for everyone to edit. So now I'm going to move on to what I'm doing in October. So for October I have an appointment with the US Embassy be in for London sort of thing, and I need to go in and sort of investigate getting a visa. I will have a video talking about my experience of getting a visa at some point in the near future. Not entirely sure. It will probably go along with the travel vlogs, and it won't be in an extensive kind of talk about how it was, but I have been filming a few little clips to try and help people who maybe want to look at the route of getting a visa and are unsure as to how to do it. So I have kind of talked about my experience of it, talked about how I find out all the information and how I, you know, my experience of it, I suppose. And I'm not entirely sure, like, I'm not going to say whenabouts it is because obviously for my own privacy, but it is towards the middle of October. So I will be sort of going for this appointment in London and hopefully kind of getting a visa and then being able to travel. Obviously, I did say I hope to travel before the end of the year, but that completely does depend on the visa application. It also does depend on like whether I can afford to go away as well. So hence the no spend October, and also hence the, you know, sort of keeping like and telling you about this visa appointment. So that is it for my October reset. If you would like to leave me some like clovers underneath or wishing me all the best of luck for my first ever no spend month, and also leave a comment, is there any goals that you've got for this month? Like, are you going to be sort of getting a new job, or are you going to be, I don't know, moving out, or are you going to be doing a no spend? You could no spend with me. Like, wouldn't that be amazing for us all to reach our goals in October? So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye.
Just like you're young again, no, don't you cry. Just get back up again.